Welcome to Around the MLS Show with Sam and Chris right here on Africa Sports Network. Yes, this is episode number 18 as the Major League Soccer stroll into the 18th week, and we are going to see major matchups across both East and Western Conference. Week 17 gave us 29 goals. I think one of the fewest goals recorded so far in MLS this season. And also Dynamo having a great run in the US Open Cup, but having a terrible run in the season, yet to win on the road. LAFC lost the Champions League, and the format of the Champions League has been changed, and also name has been changed. So a lot to talk about, Chris, today on today's episode of Around the MLS. Chris, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Sam, and thank you all viewers watching us right now.
Yeah, like I highlighted, week 17 gave us 29 goals, and then Dynamo still in winless on the road, even though they're having a decent run in the cup. I don't know what your thought might be on that. Looking at I think week 16 gave us more than 30 goals, and week 17 gave us 29 goals. Like, I'm not scoring goals. The defenders, are they getting more sharper? Are the attackers getting more blunt? What's going on?
Well, I think the game is getting more competitive. The players are getting tougher on each other. If you check it out, the reason why there were few goals because a lot of the games were draws, were 0-0, nil draws, or 1-1 draw. We had a lot of draws on that day. The beautiful thing about soccer is it's not as predictable as we might want to predict it. Every week is different. Some weeks might be goals galore. Some weeks might just be little goals shy. And this week happened to be one of those weeks without producing a whole lot of goals. So it happens.
we kind of skip a little bit the biggest news in the world of soccer right now.
Merci beaucoup.
Major League Soccer. I mean, listen, are we getting a prime or a washed Messi?
Well, I think it's a little bit of both ways, right? I would say that because we're getting not a washed Messi, but a Messi that is getting to that stage of being watched because he just won the World Cup last year.
Okay.
So based on that, winning the World Cup last year and being the player of the tournament, Messi is still at his prime, so to say, based on that fit alone. Because just coming from the World Cup a year after winning the World Cup and moving to another team, it shows that you're still highly priced. And Messi is still highly priced. He turned down $1 billion contract from the Saudi. Yeah. So if he wasn't priced, he wouldn't turn down $1 billion. That's a whole lot of money. But he turned it down because he values the game more than just soccer. And I think, not just playing for Inter Miami for I think just the reason why he made it appealing for him was that I think part of the clause was he's playing for Inter Miami.
Yeah, he can get a franchise.
What?
He can get a franchise.
No, that's franchise. Yeah, it's going to be part of the owners of Inter Miami. Yeah, that's the deal. He's going to get a certain franchise from Inter Miami. So that seemed like a wiser way to go because he can actually build this club to be worth more than $1 billion is just turned in. So he's systematically retiring.
When you look at this now coming to Inter Miami, and when you look at the fact that a lot of MLS clubs are chipping it $1, a dollar indirectly to that transfer to make it happen. And when you look at the kind of transfer policy the MLS operate, don't you think is a little bit of unfairness? Where other clubs are now indirectly funding the transfer of this super player, and also Inter Miami. There's rumors that Luis Suarez declined and offered is not true, and Angel Di Maria also. Are they trying to build a super team, the Galacticos here in the MLS? I don't understand, bro.
Yeah, but what the minute David Beckham bought that franchise a long time ago, I always thought that Inter Miami was going to be the Madrid of the MLS just because of the way it's structured. The owner having to be a superstar, a playboy model. Everything around him is just on the soft side. You know what I mean? So him owning a team, it's only natural for him to transcend his qualities to the kind of players, the kind of team he has in the tournament. So it's a hope. I'm not disappointed. It's something I've always emphasized, something I've always thought about. But the beauty about this for me is that because of this is going to trigger a whole lot of new policies in the MLS, and it's going to trigger a lot of changes.
That's what I'm saying.
A lot of changes. Yeah, it's good. So it's a good thing. It's a good thing because it shows MLS is coming of age. It's really growing, not just growing in the because we're talking about it, but in terms of players wanting to come play here, is becoming very, very attractive to good players. So it's a good start because once you start players start earning so much, which there's will be a cap, other teams want to emulate the same. I know because of this now, I won't be surprised if LAFC starts bidding for Cristiano Ronaldo in the next transfer window. You know what I mean? Like,
I mean, it's possible so that we can still continue on that Ronaldo
rivalry. Yeah, I did a video about this long time ago. Like, if Cristiano Ronaldo and Messi comes to the MLS, how is he going to feel? Because with this now, I strongly believe Ronaldo is going to want to come to the MLS now because he still is running out of contract. He hasn't re-signed his contract yet.
And only two clubs can make that happen: LAFC and LA Galaxy.
Galaxy, true. One of those two things. No, but I don't think so. If you realize, San Jose Earthquakes actually made a bid on Messi that almost went through a while ago.
Well,
so I don't know where they
all along that Messi will end up in Inter Miami when when he went to Paris Saint-Germain after that French experiment
friendly game.
He will end up in Inter Miami in the MLS, which will trigger a lot of changes in the way transfers are done here in the MLS, because I think it's been unfair when other clubs are chipping in indirectly to bring the superstar. But the fact is that it will boost the rating of the Major League Soccer. But let's go straight to week 17, week 18 matchup. LAFC fan, how does it feel for the second time?
No, it's a very sad feeling because this is a game that we thought that we had the opportunity to win. Having come from behind to pull that one goal advantage for us at Lyon, thought that we had it in our hands, only to lose 1-0 again to Lyon at the back. It was just a very sad game to watch. One of those games I really don't like talking about because I didn't see that coming. Lyon was a very beatable team, but they came and pulled it. They won home and away. Showed more superiority, showed that they wanted it most, showed that they were the better team, and they are the champions.
Yeah, they are the champions, and they also drew yesterday against Atlanta United in one of their rescheduled games. And now Western Conference is getting very, very competitive at the top of the Western Conference. Yeah, in the power ranking, when power ranking came out, I think FC Cincinnati are number one in the power ranking. FC Cincinnati, some people are not really paying attention to that team. They are top of Eastern Conference. They are top in the race for the Supporters Shield. And also they are in the semifinals of the US Open Cup. And probably FC Cincinnati will play in the finals because they host Inter Miami at the TQL, which is their fortress. So FC Cincinnati might be in for a double this season. What are your thoughts about that?
What if Messi puts on his shoes and decides to play for Inter? Messi comes and changes on his first game, on his debut, and wins the Open Cup for Inter Miami. How will you feel?
I will bet that game at the TQL, FC, it's a one game. Not like home and away.
It's a one game, it's a one game, yeah.
FC Cincinnati will beat Inter Miami.
With Messi playing? You think so?
I think so. No. FC Cincinnati, listen. What they might do, because they've sold one of their best players, Alvaro Barriel, to Udinese, who is meant to join them, I think, mid-July. Or they might look at that game and say, you know what, can you borrow us Alvaro Barriel to be part of this team to play?
On loan.
On loan. Just a one day. I mean, everything can be arranged. Like, by arrangement, devil can see Jesus Christ. I see they go now. but not true now.
True, no, it's very, very true. No, very true. Very true. They can. But Cincinnati, though, if you come to look at Cincinnati, they have a very good side. Especially Acosta, their midfielder, is very good. And Wombodo, the defensive midfielder, those two guys have a way of complementing each other when they play, But if Messi in this team, I don't Messi on the front.
No, come on, man. Listen, Messi will reality check was done on Messi in MLS when he discovered that this is the Major League Soccer.
But you know what I think? Let me tell you what I think. The truth of the matter is that the Major League Soccer is difficult, no doubt. Zlatan came and struggled. Most top players have come and struggled. Well, I just feel Messi is gonna be invincible in this league. I don't know why I feel like that. Because if you watch, no, think about it. Let's think about it. MLS defenders are the easiest defenders to dribble. They are very easy to dribble. And Messi happens to be that kind of player. Okay, let's be honest. Like, how many players? No, wait. How many players do you see that like to take on players with the ball? Very few players. They don't do that here. They don't.
No players. There are players like Lucas Zelarayan of Columbus Crew. Players like Nicolas Ledero of Seattle Sounders.
How many players do they take on?
Hold on. Hande Mukhtar of Asheville. And Christian Espinoza of San Jose this season has been also good. I mean, MLS have decent players that can still hold their
not into Messi's capacity.
My thing is this: they will be showing Messi so much respect, not to really.
I don't think so.
Game, I'm telling you, bro.
I don't think so.
That game, FC Cincinnati and Inter Miami, with Messi on the field, I will go for FC Cincinnati.
Okay.
For FC Cincinnati. I will.
Okay.
I will go for
if Messi plays, I'll go for Inter Miami.
All right. Let's look at the Houston Dynamo game against LAFC here at the Shell Energy Stadium. Dynamo earned a 4-1 away win at Chicago Fire. What a game that was. Niger boy Ali Ibrahim got a brace in that game.
Fire.
His opening goal was, fantastic. The second one being at the right place at the right time, striker's instinct to well positioned. Now Dynamo back at home to LAFC, who are wounded in their defeat to Club Leon in the Champions League finals. I mean, how do you think that game will go?
Well, it's going to be a very explosive game. Like, if you see the game they played yesterday against Atlanta United, you can see that LAFC came out smoking. LAFC actually lost 2 penalty kicks. The keeper, Atlanta United keeper, saved 2 PKs in that game. So LAFC came out smoking. They just lost a lot of scoring chances, and I just hope it's not the beginning of a goal drought, because that's what happens sometimes when a team plays so well. When it starts being difficult to score, it becomes difficult. LAFC would have been on a very good day. LAFC would have beaten Atlanta yesterday by nothing but 5 to 6 goals to nothing, because they had all those chances, one-on-one with the keeper, 2 PKs, close marking, shots, rebounds. Just that Atlanta United keeper was just out of this world. The keeper was just between him and the rest of the team. Kudos to Gozan. You know pronouncing his name?
Gozan was in the Premier League.
Yeah, he was. Well, he's old. He's supposed to be an old keeper. He's supposed to be a worst keeper. For yesterday, he was keeping like Martinez, keeping the World Cup final. Like, I'm like, let one ball go into the net.
He's a Premier
League. He said no. He said no. Imagine that. He said no. He didn't let no go going. So it's a beautiful game, but against Houston Dynamo, it's going to be tough, because I know all the time LAFC have come to Dynamo to play. It's always been difficult for LAFC to beat Dynamo in Dynamo. And besides, Houston Dynamo, regardless of how they play over the seasons, they seem to know how to play
California
teams. Yeah. They seem to know how to play California teams. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to see that matchup. It's going to be very interesting to see that,
It's going to be very interesting to see that matchup between the Houston Dynamo and the LAFC. But just know that LAFC had lost only one in their 10th all-time meeting with Houston Dynamo. And Houston have won 5 out of their 7 home matches this season. So let's go straight to Ben Olsen's pre-match conference. Let's divert a little bit. Let's go to Ben Olsen's pre-match conference. Let's see what he got to say about some certain issues, bordering on his team selection and players' morale ahead of their LAFC matchup. Yes, during that pre-match conference, I asked LAFC game, because sometimes in soccer, people say that a team is as good as their last result. 4-1 away win, Chicago Fire. LAFC goalies or Atlanta in the outstanding game. Now, what is the feeling like in your camp? And do you think this is the right time, the right form that your team want to face LAFC?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I think we're looking forward to the match. I mean, I'll say that. I think the players, it's the right opponent for us right now, just again, because of the, we've had a lot of games. We've been on the road. We're coming home, and the mentality, sometimes heightens a little bit for players and staff when you're playing the champs. And I hope that's the case. I hope we bring our best. We understand again the difficulties that they bring to the game with their athleticism, individual game changers and talent. A group that's used to winning, and so it's a very tough task ahead of us, but one we feel like that it's doable, and one that we're at home. It's going to be hot, and hopefully, some of those elements start, push us or help us, and to have a good performance, because make no mistake, it will have to be a very good performance from our group to beat this team. But again, one we've shown we're capable of putting on at home over the past couple months.
Thank you. I wish you all the best on Saturday.
Thanks, Sam.
All right. Yeah. That was Ben Olsen talking about his team, attitude, mental state, emotional state, that they are ready to play the champions. And whenever you play the champions, that you bring your A game. Chris, you heard Ben Olsen when he spoke about all that, that this is the right time. He thinks his team is ready to play, the champions. Like you said before, LAFC, Houston Dynamo, looking at Dynamo, 5 games, they've won 5 at home out of 7 here at the Challenger Stadium.
Yeah, it's gonna be, as I said, it's gonna be a tough game, and also the fact that Ben Olsen is gonna be not playing in that game because he has accumulated yellow cards. He's gonna be out of action, so we're gonna be seeing him more like instructions coming from his assistant. So it's gonna make it a little bit crazy, but it's gonna be a tough game to watch. It's gonna be a tough game to watch. It's gonna be, the Mexican fans are gonna be going crazy. Carlos Vela and Hector Herrera, HH. So it's gonna be another rivalry of 2 Mexican legends coming to slug it out in Houston. So it's going to be a beautiful game to watch. And I know the stadium is going to be packed. There are a lot of spectators, a lot of fans coming to watch their boys slug it out against each other. It's going to be interesting to watch.
Yeah, talking about that Ben Olsen suspension, the team overall, they have 4 red cards. And I asked him if that number is excess, and how is it hurting their game, looking at, their run on the road and stuff like that. And this is what Ben Olsen got to say about the yellow card and red card that his team has accumulated.
What I would say is it's a fine line, right, of playing on that edge. And I'm asking these guys to play on, an edge of intensity and grit that at times boils over. And I think that's what you see with our group, and I'm not condoning it. It doesn't help us, with results, obviously playing down a man. And I think some of them are undisciplined, right? There's different types of red cards as well. There's some that are just silly, and some, are because of intense play and you miss time to tackle and things like this, which, have happened too. So they're all different in the way they happen. We don't want those to happen. We want to have less of those, but we also need to be on the edge and play there and make sure we are physical and not backing down from teams. So that's, I guess, where I would answer that, Sam. I don't know if that answered your question. Again, there's silly ones that we got to cut out, and there's ones that happen throughout a season that I can live with. And as long as we cut out some of the silly ones, I think we'll be okay going forward.
All right, the game. Which of the games are you looking forward to, Chris, this weekend?
Oh, the matchups are going to be interesting this looking. Look, LFC Dynamo is a tough game to watch, though. It's going to be a tough game to watch. Also, Cincinnati, Vancouver is going to be another tough game to watch because Vancouver just became the Canadian champions in their Canadian League. Yeah, so coming in with that game and Cincinnati being the top of the Eastern Conference is going to be a beautiful game to watch in that field. And also Inter Miami, New England Revolution, the balls has already started of the awaiting of when Messi is going to officially kick his first game. So the players are all going to be hyped up. Also, Inter Miami, I know they're talking to a new coach. I can't remember his name. After the sack up. Sorry?
Tata Martino.
Yeah, Tata Martino, they're in talks. He hasn't been fully decided yet he was going to be the new coach, but likely he might be the new coach to coach Inter Miami. So a lot going on in Miami, a lot happening in the club, a lot of moving parts at the same time. So it's a lot of excitement going on for the fans and the owners and also people that has shares and people that are, directors of that club, a lot of moving parts. So it's going to be an interesting week of soccer. And I think this weekend we're going to have way more goals than the drought we talked about on the last weekend, because a little beautiful matchups here. And I know everybody will be eager to want to show, good enough to, perform. And, now Messi's coming up. I know every player want to up his game because a lot of people are going to be watching the MLS right now, so the players are going to be playing, want to show how good they are, hopefully to maybe attract some top European teams to come grab them while they are smoking hot in the MLS.
Why not? For me, the game between Toronto FC and Nashville will interest me because of Hani Mukhtar. He has been very impressive this season. Look at his goal against FC Dallas. And also, they win both home and on the road. And he's the MVP for a reason. 10 goals this season already in the MLS for Nashville. Without Hani Mukhtar, Nashville would be struggling. So I want to watch Lorenzo Insigne up against Mr. Nashville, Hani Mukhtar. So that would be an interesting game for me. And also the game between Chicago Fire and Columbus Crew, great game in the Eastern Conference that might also have effect on the playoff standing in the East. And when you also go a little bit down, I'm looking at Charlotte FC and Seattle Sounders. When you look at the Western Conference, it's getting hot and it's getting very, very hot and very competitive. So, and Seattle Sounders hasn't really been that consistent this season. When they play at home, you think they will be invincible, but lo and behold, they end up losing that. Seattle Sounders are second in the Western Conference, 27 points from 17 games. So that game against Charlotte, I will see how Charlotte can hold up, against Seattle Sounders. And also looking at St. Louis, how they beat Houston 3-0. I also want to see their game this weekend. So it's going to be a whole lot of great games in both East and Western Conference of the Major League Soccer. So, Chris, and before we round up real quick, let's go straight to FC Cincinnati's manager Pat Noonan pre-match conference at their game against Vancouver Whitecaps. This is what Pat Noonan has to say about the upcoming battle between Vancouver Whitecaps.
The game, just in terms of the challenges that we'll see with a team certainly playing with some momentum and riding a high right now after the result last night. But there are other factors with the travel. We've shown to navigate that already and be able to find a way to be successful and win a game. But in dealing with or in talking to the group today, it was a similar theme of how is the recovery process and where are guys at. So likely a couple rotations, but I think guys have come out of it in a good way just based on how the game played out again with just the loading being on the lower end of the games we've played in this stretch. So we'll have a fresh group that expects to go out and win against a challenging opponent.
Right, that was Pat Noonan. Pre-match conference in Vancouver Whitecaps against FC Cincinnati. Right, Chris. That's it. That's all we got for today, and hope to see you again when week 18 is done and dusted, so we can see how it all went down. Bye-bye, and thanks for now.
All right, guys. Goodbye.